open access is important because it allows researchers and scientists to get their information out to the general public audience that usually doesn't get access to our research. It gets our message out. So if we've done important research, we can spread it out more than relying on where the journal gives access to. And usually you end up paying for the journal, which means it's up to whether you want to pay a subscription price for that or not. So it doesn't make it very fair, right? It's not fair in terms of universities, university libraries for starters. They have to pay for journal subscriptions, right? And that costs a lot of money, right? They spend a lot of money getting these subscriptions. So if you're a rich university like Harvard, Princeton, U of T, you get more journals than little Carleton, right? Or smaller universities. They don't have access to it. On top of that, there are third world countries. They don't, countries that are struggle with poverty. They don't have access to this. Right? They can't pay for journal subscriptions, but they still want to. They still have scientists. They still have people that want to do research, right? And in order for them to do that, they have to be able to access the information. Without it, they can't do it, right? So even if they have like novel research or they want to be collaborative on a project, which would help promote other countries or countries that are struggling with poverty, then they can do that better with open access journals. They can't do that when you have to pay subscription prices, which they just don't have the money for. I prefer to publish in open access journals just because I want to get my message out there. I want people to know what research I've done. I want my fellow researchers to comment on what I've done. Right? Tell me whether it's good or not. Right? And it improves what's called my H index, which is basically the productivity of a scientist based on the number of publications and what research they've done. Well, the article I just recently submitted to, I think it was Frontiers for Neuroscience. They are an open access journal. I think I have a much higher readership than if I had submitted to a journal where I'd have to pay for the subscription or pay for the color articles or whatever, right? And it's spread out more, right? I get more benefit from it. I get more comments about my research. I get more information about my publication than I would if I did it in a published journal. Prior to open access journals, I think I mentioned it before, scientists had to pay for things like color articles. They have to pay for the subscription. I don't understand why the scientist has to pay. They're the author, right? It's like asking an author of a book to pay for their own book, right? And then they don't get anything back from that, right? So open access kind of gets rid of that, and it levels the playing field, right? So everybody gets equal access to the information.